Afternoon. Thank you for watching the virtual forum for the two runoff candidates for the District 3 seat on the Lee County Board of Supervisors. My name is Taylor Vance, and I am the local government reporter here at the Daily Journal. And today we have the two runoff candidates with us. We have Buddy Dickerson and we have Wesley Webb here. Buddy's the owner of Pro Designs, a printing company here in town, and Wesley is a real estate broker here in town. Because this is a special election, both candidates must run as nonpartisan. So a little bit about how this will work today. I will ask six questions to each of the candidates. It will be the same question. Each of you will have up to 1 minute to answer the question. And then after the 6 questions, each of you will get a 2-minute closing statement. Y'all have any questions?
I don't have any.
Okay. All right. Again, thank you all for being here today and participating in this. So the first question is about infrastructure. And the question is, what do you think the most pressing infrastructure issue or need is in District 3? And what do you think that you can do about it? And we'll go in alphabetical order. So, Buddy, we will start with you this time. And you have 1 minute.
Okay. As far as the infrastructure problems out there in the county that people have voiced their opinions and frustrations to me has been the quality of several of the roads, the county roads that are out in the outlying areas out there. And then, of course, I know we've had some major issues with some bridges, and then you've got people ditch areas where they've got drainage problems out there. In the county area, complaining about water runoff from roads that's been constructed by the county, and as far as the other infrastructure would be just, I know people have been voiced their opinions about fiber optic cables and tearing up their yards, and other than that, that's pretty much what I've heard out on the trail.
All right, thank you. All right, same question to you.
You know, Taylor, there's two things that first come to my mind. Number one are the roads. With me being on the Major Thoroughfare Committee, I feel like I have a leg up dealing with some of these roads and helping maybe widen some of these roads, and be in contact with the city on a city-county deal where we can help widen some of the roads that we're dealing with. And also, number two, the first thing that sticks in my mind is drainage issues, making sure the ditches are clean. With me being on the Tombigbee Valley Water Management District, that's what we have dealt with. We work with the supervisors of 13 counties managing runoff water and making sure everything flows correctly to the Tombigbee River.
All right, thank you. The next question is about the jail, the Lee County Adult Jail. The current Board of Supervisors has passed a resolution that would allow it to borrow up to $85 million and bonded debt to construct a judicial complex and other local projects. But the most notable component of that is the judicial complex. For years, the supervisors have really not been able to agree on a long-term solution for the jail. And so the question is, how would each of you approach the issue of the jail? And Wesley, we'll start with you this time. So you have 1 minute.
You know, we've got to have a jail. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. My thing with paying for the jail, let's start out. We don't need to do all this 85 million. Let's build a jail, administrative offices, and then look and see what we can do later on down the road from that. The biggest concern with this is, number one, keeping the inmates safe and keeping the people who work for the Lee County Sheriff's Department. We've got to keep them safe as well. But we do got to have a jail. Okay,
thank you. Buddy, same question to you.
Yeah. Going door to door the last 3.5 months, that's the number one question that's been proposed to me is, what would you do on the jail? I've said all along, as I've voiced my opinion, several of the supervisors, there is transparency. Being transparent about how much the jail is actually going to cost. Now, yesterday at the supervisors meeting, which I've been attending since August, Billy Joe Holland has suggested that they get an architect involved so they can get a roundabout figure. But you're going to have the Lee County Library funding in there. You've got the judicial system in there. They've also told me that the infrastructure money is put in there. So people are really are confused and really think that the jail is an $85 million jail, which that is not correct. And then they're also confused about the tax situation on it, what their taxes are going to cost.
All right, thank you. The next question is about the American Rescue Plan funds. Lee County is set to receive a little over $16 million from the American Rescue Plan Act. Just some of the broad rules in the law allow for local governments to use the money to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic, and it can be used for water, sewage, broadband expansion. Do you have any ideas just you would personally advocate for these federal dollars to be used for? And but yeah, I think we start with you this time.
Okay. I sat down and had a conversation with Bill Benson, Chancery Clerk, about the funding that you're to, and now he informed me that what they were looking at doing to offset the expense of the jail because of it receiving from the government and toward the jail, it's to offset the of that jail. That's what has been told me. Now, whether they do that with that funding, I don't know, but that's really all that I know for us where that money is to go. So I mean, people, and that's why I asked them point blank. So that is going to be $16 million off the total, and that's what I've been told. So we just have to wait and see.
Okay.
The way it was, and the way I understood it, we were going to use that towards the jail. Do we need to use all of it? I don't know yet. But the way I understood, most of it was going to go towards the jail. I wouldn't mind seeing some of it maybe going towards some of the roads as well, because we do have some roads in our district that do need to be fixed also. So.
Okay. The next question is about the Tupelo League Humane Society. The local Humane Society is wanting the city of Tupelo and Lee County to increase its funding to the facility to about $30,000 per month. County currently gives $53,000 a year to the facility, and the Humane Society's leaders are saying that they are going to struggle to keep the doors open if the funding that they receive from local governments here does not increase. So the question's a little bit of a two-parter. One, just do you think that the county should increase its funding at all to the Humane Society? And two, just how would you approach that issue? I think we start with you this time.
I've got 2 dogs of my own, and I can be a sucker when it comes to dogs. I'm an animal lover. One of the things that I would like to see is, where is all this money going that they're going to be using towards that? I'm not going to say let's give it to them all $30,000, but let's go back and see what they've got, what they're looking to spend with this. I understand with COVID the numbers are way up, but let's go back and see where this money is going first before we go to allocate $30,000 a month to this.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, the actual amount that's being budget-wise for them is $90,000 a month. And that what was printed in the paper, Daily Journal, $90,000 a month.
No, I believe it was $30,000 from the city, $30,000 from the county, which would be.
But I'm talking about what they're actually spending.
Oh, yes. Their expenses per month. Yes.
And
sorry.
Of course, I've had conversation with Bill Benson and some others about who's overseeing more than the $90,000 is being spent. That's pretty sizable amount. I think that in order for the city and the county to fund and continue funding, which I'm just like Mr. Webb here. We've got, my wife and I have 6 dogs and 1 cat. So we're definitely, and her mother and father started the Animal Humane Society. So we're very in tune about the love of the animals, and talked to one of the councilmen who's really upset, which his name, but hopefully they can audit and check and see where the funds are, where they're going, and what can be done.
Thank you. The next question is medical marijuana. the Mississippi legislature is set to adopt some type of medical marijuana program in the near future. It's looking like it will be during the regular session in January. Current drafts of the bill would allow the County Board of Supervisors to prohibit some medical marijuana facilities, such as a dispensary, from operating in the unincorporated communities in the county. So the question is, would either of you be willing to opt out of medical marijuana? So I believe we start with you.
You know, it's as odd as that it sounds. I went to homes when I went door to door, and I had a couple of people that actually are on medical marijuana. Their first question is, what are you going to do if you were to get elected? Are you going to stop the medical marijuana? And as I told them, I said, the main thing that I see in the medical marijuana situation is making sure that kids don't get involved in growing marijuana, or you know, it gets out of hand. I would like to see, you know, just like the state controls liquor. I mean, they control the liquor, and then of course you got the cigarette tobacco as far as controlling and keeping up with it. And then you got doctors that are writing these prescriptions. So really, I just think it needs to be where they continue to oversee and monitor it from the law enforcement standpoint, so it doesn't get out of hand.
Okay, thank you.
You know, the citizens of Mississippi has voted, and they voted it in. So we've got to go with that. Our biggest challenge right now is figuring out how we're going to disperse this. I think we need to get with the sheriff, lead on his leadership. We need to go to some of these other counties that are doing this in Colorado or Oklahoma and look at the challenges that they're facing distributing this, and look at what's working with them, and then bring that back here and figure out what's best for us and Lee County citizens.
Okay. All right. Well, those are the questions. Those are the 6 questions that I have. And so now we can move on to the closing statements. Like I said, you each have 2 minutes for a closing statement. And I believe we start with you.
All right. You know, I feel like my whole life has led me up to this election. From my family's running different businesses, from me growing up in the cattle business, from me owning my own business here in Moss Hill Properties, Tupelo. I know what it's like to pay tax dollars. I don't like paying taxes, but I want to be a good stewardship of your tax dollars and make sure they are being spent very well. Lee County and Tupelo has been blessed with great leadership, and I would like to be mentioned in those names of the great leadership we've had. When you vote for me, I want you to realize that it is a vote for, number 1, for Lee County and keeping you safe as Lee County. And also have a vote from you to me as a vote for making sure your tax dollars are spent very well also. And then I want to make Lee County a better place. Make it where people come back to Tupelo, and once they get here, they never want to leave. I've been very fortunate to be blessed with everything that's happened in my life. Like I said, I believe this led me up to this point. When you go vote, I want you to remember, vote for me on November 23rd. And you can also go vote absentee up Saturday at 12 o'clock. The people of District 3 have a job opening, and I've applied for that job opening. And I would love for people in District 3 to give me that job opening. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to read what is from my heart, and I appreciate where Webb was on his feelings towards that. And ladies and gentlemen, I treat this position as a full-time job. The state of Mississippi requires each supervisor to ride his district once a year, but I plan to be out there at least once a month or more when needed to meet and talk with great citizens of Lee County and District 3. I also intend to have office hours available after each and every supervisor's meeting to be held downtown Tupelo at the supervisor's headquarters. I want the citizens to be able to text or call me 24/7. I don't want to be I'm a no-show, and that has been one of the things that I've heard since I've been out there. As you've heard today, this forum, we face a lot of major issues that's got to be solved. I plan to devote every day making sure that I can do my best to address your needs, no matter how big or how small the problem. It will be my problem as well to try to solve your problem. As I've gone house to house over the last 3.5 months, I have personally heard many of your concerns, complaints, and suggestions. If elected, that's when my real work would begin. I have promised and campaigned on honesty, being transparent, and working hard for the citizens of District 3. Even one of my competitors in this race commented that he felt the biggest reason that I was in this runoff was because of my hard work and sweat. I will be transparent with the voters on Facebook page concerning any and all projects the supervisors are working on. I'm a lifelong citizen of Lee County, a product of the local school system. I also live in the city and operate businesses in the county. I own Pro Designs Advertising, Elite Sports Academy, Chester Ball Field, which all are in the county. My campaign has been self-funded by myself and my wife, Sherry. The only people that I will be answering to is the good citizens of Lee County, my family, and my Lord and Savior.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, this concludes the forum for the 2 runoff candidates for District 3. I want to thank both Wesley and Buddy for participating in this. Thank you all for watching this forum. Absentee voting is ongoing in this race, and the date for the runoff election is November 3rd. Today from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I would encourage anyone watching to contact the Lee County Circuit Clerk's office for any election questions that you may have. Please follow the Daily Journal for more coverage of this local race. Thank you very much.